Hello everyone, welcome to another MasterStack preview. This is Jimothy, and today we're going to talk about Qubely. So that means we're going to talk a lot about WordPress and Gutenberg. And I guess if you're here, it's because you're interested in knowing more about And we will begin by talking a second about Gutenberg, because it's obviously that it's here to stay and it's been here for a while. And Gutenberg is the new WordPress editor that's increasingly getting more features, but as of now, it's still not as good as a page builder or custom made to create a website as we want it. It's still very good for normal content pages, and it uses blocks. But sometimes the blocks are a bit lacking. So ever since WordPress 5.5, which came out very recently, there is a new store for blocks, which we can import and use ourselves. But I'm not really happy about it, because anything we add to our website is potentially going to make the website slower to load. So even a very simple block could be very poorly coded, and I'm not happy to get that off of random plugins and just have 15 blocks installed. That's going to make very difficult to have a fast loading page. That being said, there are also plugins that have a bunch of blocks that we usually can enable and disable on as a whole. So they usually do not have much bloat in there. So we have a lot of blocks available and we don't have to install a new block each time we need it. So these kind of plugins usually make our Gutenberg experience much better, much faster, and allow for much better looking pages. And this is what Qubely does. Qubely is a block plugin that allows to have sections and starting pages, just like page builders like Elementor and Divi have. The aim is to get an experience not quite a page builder, but almost as good and within Gutenberg. The company behind Qubely is Themium. They've been around for a while. They've made a lot of plugins and themes, so they're known and they have a good reputation. So there is a solid company behind Qubely. Let's see what the features are. We get 39 blocks. Now, Qubely also has a free version of the plugin, which we can see on the WordPress repository. It's also updated, and it's also updated frequently enough. And while it doesn't give as much as the Pro version, it does have a lot of free blocks available. And these are the blocks we have available here with Qubely Pro, which is what the AppSumo deal gives us. Each one of those, we can check the demo. These are just Gutenberg blocks. We can have a new page and add this block and change the images. So it's very easy to have this same kind of effect. And we have all of these blocks. Image comparison, which we've just seen, table of contents, which many plugins already have, but as I said, it's better to get all of these things from one maker rather than have 10 different plugins for 10 different blocks. It just doesn't work that way. The table of content looks good. I'm sure we can add it as well. So we have animated headlines, vertical tabs, pie progress, media card, testimonial carousel, theme carousel, post carousel, form builder, image gallery, image carousel, pricing list, advanced post grid, timeline, image, pricing, accordion, advanced list, contact, button group, counters, Google Map, heading, progress bar, info box, icon list, row, social icons, tabs, video pop-up, testimonial, and theme. As you can see, took me a minute to name all the blocks, and there are a lot of use cases available. This is a form, I suppose. We also make complex forms, it seems. And then we have the advanced post grid. Looks nice. Doesn't have, okay. Does look nice. We can customize it, obviously. Many different ways for it to show. The post grid, standard. Very good if we want for archive pages or if we want to list something at the bottom of our posts. Then we have info box, such as this or this. Looks very nice. You can also set gradients and effects on hover. And then these social icons. That's very nice as well. Tabs. Also, they're also actually looks rather nice to me. Really nice. Okay, so we've seen a few of those, but it looks very cool to me. Now let's look at another feature. Sections. We get over 160 pre-made sections, which means these are all made by the Qubely team using their own blocks, and they're very useful if we want to have some part of the website as a template to begin then editing to our needs. You can have also footers and headers, content pages. So we could just import each of those and use this part and then change the image, change the text to whatever we need. So that's very useful to quickly whip up a nice looking website or page. And then we have starter packs, which is not just sections, but a whole page as a template that we can then edit. And I gotta say, these look good. Let's see the food trucks. So we have, that's actually really nice. We can import this whole website just like we would in a page builder like Elementor. We import the template and then we can just edit whatever we want. But we have everything there as a starting point. And it does look good. It also serves to show us what Qubely can do. And this is all done within Qubely with Qubely blocks. No other dependencies about it. And yeah, this looks good. So you have a video background, you have a hero header, then this part that appears only as we scroll down, the animation. I gotta say, this is very good. Okay, so as far as we can see, the features are great. Now, I do not know how the code is, because as even a block can be made in many different ways, and there are some blocks that have 10 divs for the same kind of things that could be done in 2 divs. So the HTML they will output, which is very important for a website speed. I don't know how optimized it is, and that's something where I'm not even sure we can thoroughly check enough during a review. But it's probably within average. It's not as good as something an expert would make, but it's probably still much better than page builders, except for Oxygen, which is another kind of different thing. So whenever I mention the bloat that page builders do have, I'm never talking about Oxygen, just to make sure. But this thing, since it uses Gutenberg and it's all made by a company that's well versed in both themes and plugins, I have good expectations that it's not too bloated. Obviously, it will not be perfect, but for someone that doesn't have the time or the knowledge to build custom blocks, this is probably as good as it gets. And that's important to set our expectations for the eventual review. So we don't expect this to be good enough for a professional, but we expect it to be good enough for anyone with not enough time or knowledge to custom make their own design. We can then look at the documentation available and the changelog to see how supported this Qubely seems to be. Now, before we go further documentation, however, we can also consider the demos that we have available. For everything, it's all here to see. So we have a lot already here. And then we have documentation itself, which seems very thorough. There are explanations for each and every block. And as we can see, each block has its own settings and it seems very customizable. So I would say we are completely happy with what we have here. As far as changelog, we can see here how often it gets updated. And since it started less than 1 year ago, we have had a lot of updates, and each update adds new settings and fixes whatever is not working. And as there was a major WordPress release recently, Qubely hasn't had much issues and they've already updated anyway. So this seems to be well supported. And now I guess it's all about pricing. What we get in the AppSumo deal and what is normally Qubely's price. You can check their own pricing here. As you can see, they have 3 forms of license, 1 website, 5 and unlimited. It's all for 1 year's worth of updates and support. So you could keep the plugin without paying for the 2nd year, but you wouldn't get the updates. And I would never suggest anyone keeps a live website with no updates at all. So we could consider this not a mandatory yearly fee, but almost. And that's $39, $59, and $99 a year. For the AppSumo deal, we get all the features of the Pro plan, which is the paid. That's all we've been talking about. The free one you can get anytime you want on your website yourself. You can install it as you would install any other free plugin. So we get all the features within the Pro plan. So all the sections, all the blocks, all the templates. We get 10 licenses with just 1 stack. And if we check the price, we could compare it here. So we get 10 licenses, 10 websites for less than their own 5 license pack. We can then update with 2 stacks to 50. And then the third stack gives us unlimited licenses, which would be $99 a year on their own pricing. So their own pricing is good, and it's normal for a WordPress plugin. And the AppSumo deal is very interesting because it doesn't force you to go unlimited because the other licenses allow only few websites. Even just a single could be enough for most people, as it offers up to 10 websites. And then if you go double, you get 50. That's a huge amount of websites. I guess agencies are the ones who will be interested in the unlimited licenses the most, but that's just 3 stacks and you get unlimited use of this plugin. So it's a very good deal even on the AppSumo side, and you don't even need to get 3 stacks to get a really good use out of this. So let's get back to our expectations and what we think of this. We've seen very good things on the features side. The presentation is great and there is a lot of documentation and information available. We believe this could be very useful to many people, especially non-professionals, as it can allow for very good looking pages just with blocks. You don't even need to go to sections and templates. You can just add those good looking blocks and easily customize them to have a great looking page. So it's very user friendly. Seems very good even at just 1 stack. So we think this is worth going for. Now, to be completely fair, I do not use Gutenberg too much. I use page builders mostly, but I do use Gutenberg from time to time. I do teach people using WordPress how to use Gutenberg. I do not teach them how to use page builders because that's more difficult, whereas Gutenberg is very easy to learn. So I would see myself teaching how to use these blocks as well so that they can have good looking pages without really much effort at all. That's my expectation. So that's what we will check on our review, which is going to come in a couple of days. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, you can subscribe for more videos, and see you next one. Bye-bye.